Hello and welcome to another episode of Awaz-e-Haqiqat, which also translates to the voice of truth. Today or tonight, I'm talking, depending on whichever part of the world you're watching me from, I'm your host, Krismalika Bhadra, and I will be talking about female priest. And that to me is such a landmark achievement by females. I don't know why we have to put this in a gender, but since we do that, put that in a gender. So I will be talking to someone who is a female priest, and she's joining us all the way from Melbourne. So I am joined by Shraddha. Shraddha is a registered pharmacist in Australia. She has also a side hustle, which is called Shraddha Henna Designs, which can be found on Facebook and Instagram. By the grace of God, she was born to a Vedic family where her father and grandfather are great Vedic scholars and writers. She was blessed by her father to perform religious Hindu practices from childhood. And since then, she recognizes herself as a female Purohit. Thanks, Shraddha, for joining me. How are you doing?
Good.
Must say at the start, what you're doing is amazing and phenomenal. This is one area we certainly need to break the glass ceilings because it is so gendered, in my opinion. All the time we keep seeing Hindu priests, Purohits, so kudos to you. The first question that I wanted to ask you, Shraddha, is a little bit is mentioned in your bio, but if you can just elaborate on that, is when did you decide you wanted to become a priestess?
Well, actually, from my childhood, I've seen my parents and my grandparents performing Vedic rituals and as per Vedic methods. And my grandparents, as I grew up, I have always been surrounded by books, all the Vedic books, all the time. My grandparents have written about 35, I think, books on Vedas, Upanishads, Manusmriti, and other scriptures. So the eternal teaching of Vedas and Upanishads fascinated me, and I started practicing and chanting the Vedic hymns and Bhagavad Gita. My parents always supported me in this spiritual journey.
Right.
And always gave me opportunities to perform, even when I was like quite young. I think I was 12 or 13 years old. My friends used to call me for any griha pravesh or doing a havan or anything. They used to call me up and say that, Shraddha, can you perform this? I used to do it for them. And my father always does this for the society. I mean, he is actually an engineer, but still, he performs all these rituals free of cost back in India. Yeah. So now I'm passing on the same to my children. Like I'm trying to teach them whatever I have learned, like the Vedic hymns and small bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So that you can understand and learn something from it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Shraddha, for doing that for the next generation as well.
Yeah.
We were mentioning, and I think I mentioned before that to us laymen, this is mostly a gendered area where we have heard about male priests or purohits.
Yeah.
But in your opinion, do you think this is male dominated, and where becoming a priestess might be met with certain resistances? And if yes, did you face any kind of roadblocks on your way?
Well, yes. I mean, I feel that women's priests or purohits are still looked down everywhere because conducting puja has been perceived as a male bastion, to be honest.
Right.
When I was studying Vedic literature, I was pleasantly surprised to know that great Rishikas and Vedic scholars, like I'm not sure, Ghosa, Godha, Apala, Vishwavara, Maitreyi, and Gargi, they were not only masters of Vedic knowledge but also were saints. And at that time, back in that era, they were not. It was not restricted or limited to just males performing the pujas and all the religious practices. Initially, when I and my younger sister Nishtha, we actually got our sacred thread ceremony done when I think I was 12 or 13 years old. And in Odisha, it was about in early 2000s. All the TV channels broadcasted this event as a landmark reform in society.
Right.
So as I grew up, people were skeptical about me doing yagya in marriage ceremonies and other places. but the whole idea about a woman priest is still a great taboo in the society.
Mm.
And even when we had the sacred thread ceremony done, still remember there are people from different fields. It was still broadcasted in the TV channel, and they were saying, why are women doing the sacred thread ceremony? I mean, first of all, it is not restricted or limited to just Brahmins doing it.
Right.
Thread ceremony should be done to any brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is a person who is going to, start studying, or going to become a scholar. Anyone, it does. It is the problem in India is of the caste system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was not. It is not limited to caste system.
Mm.
Anyone who is going to take Upanayan. Upanayan means you are taking up brahmacharya.
Right.
It is means for girls, for boys, for,
Any.
yeah, it
Mm.
doesn't, yeah, that is the thing. So yeah, I feel that they have been, there has been several instances where we were always poked and told that no, even after my marriage, I feel that
Yeah.
uh,
Because what you
yeah,
mentioned, Shraddha, is the problem of casteism, right? It's relevant. It's
yeah,
it's very, very relevant even in today's date and time. No matter how much we deny that, we see
yeah,
that as well, that it's around us. So as
yeah,
long as we have those castist mindset, there will be these gender, these
yeah,
classes kind of sectionalities that will kind of have the stigmas on these things that were thought to be open to anyone and everyone.
yeah.
But rather moving on is when you talk about a priestess, so
Hmm.
is a Hindu priestess allowed to have her family? Is she allowed to get into marital life?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's, I mean, she can perform grihastha dharma.
Hmm.
Grihastha means having a family, having a husband, and having children,
Hmm.
and she is allowed to do that.
Hmm.
And I think it sustains all the other brahmacharya, vanaprastha, and sannyas,
Right.
because in those stages, there is no active source of
Hmm.
income from the, like, brahmacharya is a child, like, I mean, is a scholar who is basically surviving on bhikshan,
Yeah.
or yeah, and then grihastha is the only dharma where you can earn some money and then perform that religious practices.
Hmm. So that it's okay for a priestess to get into family life. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's okay. Good. And then, so this is one side of the priestess that she can get into the marital life. But on the other side, what is the actual position of female priest in our society, in our religion? Because are their duties any different from the male priest, or they're similar?
Look, the position of a female priest in Hinduism as
Mhm.
such is very challenging
Okay.
because of the mindset of people
Hmm. Hmm.
who have been misguided.
Hmm.
When all the Hindus worship goddesses as their deity, why they can't think of a woman who chants mantras
Hmm.
and does the worship?
Hmm.
And God has made men and women all equals, and Vedas have thousands of special mantras which uphold the sanctity of women
Hmm.
in society and terms them as leaders.
Hmm.
That's why we worship God as Ardhanareshwar, which means half God is woman.
Right.
Shiva can't exist without Shakti.
Hmm.
So the role of women in performing rituals is different from that of a man.
Hmm.
There are some Puranas who say that women's role in the rituals should be prohibited, but there are no such mentions in Vedas. Vedas is actually termed as the most ancient script in this world.
Right. Right.
There is no mention about any of this in Vedas. Puranas is something that has been added by people according to their convenience as the generation passed on.
Right.
So that has been changed according to,
Hmm.
as the male dominating society, started building up, they
Yeah.
started doing the whole thing according to their convenience.
Absolutely. So, Shraddha, just one question here. When you said that the original manuscript does not have any sections or any biases,
Yeah,
patriarchy exists, right? We cannot deny that patriarchy, it definitely
yes,
is there. But
yeah,
when it comes to performing religious duties, do we
yeah.
have patriarchy even in that area also? Shouldn't it be pure of, shouldn't it be kind of not contaminated by anything like that?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, um, it's all even patriarchy. It is no, there is no mention of patriarchy in Vedas.
Hmm.
In Vedas, there is no mention of all this.
Okay.
It's only, it has been fabricated very nicely in the later. Uh, Vedic Sanskrit is very different from the Sanskrit that we find in Bhagavad Gita
Right.
or the Sanskrit that we read,
Hmm.
because that is a completely different Sanskrit, and this is something that we can read. A common man can, a person who knows Sanskrit can read and understand.
Okay.
So the whole manuscript has been changed and altered several places.
Hmm.
So yeah, about that, I feel that this could be, I mean, it has been changed according to their
Suits, conveniences.
convenience. Yeah,
And I think we see this as an universal issue in every religion, I
yeah,
think.
not just, yeah.
Yeah,
In,
yeah,
in
this is everywhere. Yeah. But tying into this, Shraddha, the next question that I wanted to ask is,
yeah,
you know, menstruation is something all women go through, right?
yeah, yeah, 100%.
In our culture, we often have been asked not to enter temples or shrines when we are on our periods.
Correct.
So, in that situation, how does a female priestess deal with
Yeah.
that stigma?
Okay, so I just wanted to tell you about this. Uh, Vedas doesn't have anything mentioned about this, that
Mm.
if you are menstruating, you cannot touch this, you cannot do that. Yeah, can you please close it? Yeah. And a woman cannot go inside the kitchen, you cannot perform religious practices, you cannot go inside the puja temple area, or the place inside the house where we conduct
Right.
puja,
Mm.
etc. However, the only thing that I am, me being a female, I feel that whenever we have menstruation,
Mm.
the entire body, I feel that completely changes.
Yeah.
We become totally down because
Mm.
it's a natural process.
Mm.
uh,
Mm.
and I feel that time, I think the reason why it has been fabricated, because this time a woman needs to rest,
Yeah.
a woman needs to
So,
rest.
mm.
And another thing that lately I have been thinking of, and I also read about, is whenever we go to a temple, if you notice the dome of the temple, if you go there, there is a high energy. You can feel it. There's
Right.
it is a, it's source of positive energy. The
Mm.
energy keeps flowing from the earth towards the top.
Mm.
So that that is the reason why we feel so divine and we feel so good. The aura is completely different around us when we go to a temple. We all have to accept that whenever we go to temple, the entire you completely feel happy.
Mm.
In like the reason is the energy, the positive energy flows from the earth to the surroundings. But during menstruation, the energy basically flows from the human, or
Mm.
from the top to the bottom, to the earth,
Mm.
to the earth. And there is turbulence.
Okay.
I feel that creates turbulence. And even if you do the same thing, like if you, for example, there is you cannot forbid someone to go to the temple.
Mm.
For example, a woman who is menstruating is going to temple, performing all these practices. Um, she might feel a lot of like pain, or she might be disturbed, her entire body and everything. She might have a lot of complications going on, and she wouldn't have an answer for that. The reason is because of the energy colliding with each other. This is what I feel, and I think that I'm doing a research. I'm trying to learn more about this, but until now I have come to this conclusion.
Yeah, even I wanted to ask you, Shraddha, the part that you mentioned about the energy colliding and the is that documented somewhere? Is that scientifically proven?
No, it is not yet. Not yet.
It's not yet. Okay. But I think it's more of a general stigma that people say, oh, if you're on your periods, don't enter the temple. But I just wanted to ensure that there is nothing written in the scriptures which prohibits a woman from doing all that.
Also, during those times, people they didn't have sanitary pads, and
Yeah.
the whole hygiene was not maintained. I mean, properly.
Mm, mm,
And right now, everything is like, I mean, you can still go, but I feel that a woman should just completely take 3 days off and rest. I
mm.
would do that I mean,
Yeah.
if it is on me.
I think it's more of a physical rest that you need because you're
Yeah.
losing so much blood more than
Yeah.
any societal stigma that don't touch it, don't touch it.
And I even think that people, the women who are working, when I used to work in the pharmacy, those 3 days standing and working, I feel like they should have that 3 days off completely. Every
Mm.
woman should deserves this.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Especially when you have those cramps on the first day or
Yeah,
people who are
yeah,
suffering from endometriosis. It's just unthinkable
yeah,
pain.
too bad.
But
Yes.
it's good to know that it's not mentioned in the scriptures that you cannot. So, yeah, thank you for
Yeah,
pointing that out. Shraddha,
yeah,
one question that I didn't share earlier, but now that you're speaking, it's coming in my
yeah,
mind.
absolutely.
Does a female priestess need to adhere to a certain dress code? And where I'm coming from is we often see male priests, they're like covered, they don't have anything usually on the top, but bottom they have. But for a female, do you
Hmm.
guys have to have a certain dress code or you can just wear a sari or whatever you're convenient with?
The whole point of uh, the dress code is to cover your body. To be
Hmm.
honest, um, I am not. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Western culture and the way people dress over different parts of world.
Hmm.
But I feel that a woman should always, in our Vedic scriptures, it is written that a woman should always dress up in a way that, if you see, that word Devi comes out from your mind,
Okay.
from your mouth.
Hmm.
I mean, you should not be able to, how even in Islamic scriptures it is written that a woman should only dress up in a way such that if a man has to see her, she should not lust about or think about
Hmm.
uh, anything else other than just respecting the woman. So
Hmm.
the respect I feel comes automatically if you see a person wearing, for example, I'm wearing sari and sitting down,
Hmm.
and I am I am just wearing a shorts and a small top, crop top, and sitting down. There is a, like, no matter how educated or how I mean, yeah, how educated you are, even if you see, there is a certain sense of respect that you will get. You will feel uh, a biased respect that one will feel towards the woman who is wearing sari, because I feel that it is completely covered, and in Vedas it is written that a woman should be always modestly dressed, always.
But Shraddha, if I have to kind of contradict with you here, first
Um,
of all, in this today's century, we're talking about women's right. A woman should have the freedom to wear anything. And
yeah,
secondly, we often see cases coming up where a woman in sari, an elderly woman, they're also getting abused and assaulted. So
yeah, absolutely.
isn't the respect more of a mindset rather than what you and I are wearing?
Yeah, probably. It is a mindset, but also because why we should, I mean, yes, I sound more like a oldie talking like this, that why we should give an opportunity for someone to
Hmm.
even think about us, because to change the world it will take at least century, one more century for the entire world to change. The, like, I mean, yes, a woman should be comfortable wearing whatever she is wearing
Yeah, yeah.
wherever she is going. Yes, but at the same time we should not with the current trend that is going on, I feel very bad seeing women wearing such nasty clothing where they expose themselves. This is not required which is not required at all, I feel. Other than that, for comfort, it is okay. I mean, to wear whatever.
I think what happens here is, Shraddha, there's a fine line between my freedom and taking that freedom for granted. So I
Yeah.
can wear whatever I want. That is my woman's right. But the
Yes.
minute I tend to overplay it, becomes a problem.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the
Yes.
same thing goes from the other gender as well.
100%. Yes, yes, yes. I get it completely what you're saying. Yeah, I couldn't express that in words the way you expressed. Correct.
It's I also see certain events and certain costumes where I think it's not sustainable. It's not needed. But
Yeah.
again, it's freedom, but we tend to somewhere overplay our freedom.
Yes, yes, yes. That
And
is, yeah.
and that respect also tends to get underplayed, that okay, why should I respect any and every person in front of me?
Yes,
Because
yes,
we are so ingrained that only a covered woman demands respect, but respect is for everyone. Because
correct.
even a 80-year-old woman is assaulted, a three
Yeah.
month old child is getting assaulted.
Yes,
So
yes. That is
nothing to
the
do with.
top headlines everywhere. That is true. Yeah.
So this is like my mindset, that respect is in my mind, that I will take it how I see it, not what the other person is wearing. But as
Yeah.
you mentioned, some people just take it way to a different level. But yeah, but thank you,
Yeah.
Shraddha. Thank you for such an important conversation. What you're doing is beyond amazing. And to my listeners, if you've heard me for the first time, I was speaking with Shraddha, someone who's joined from Melbourne. She is a female priestess. Amazing, amazing work what she's doing. We need more of these priestess. We need to break this gender norm basically in this area. So thanks to Shraddha for speaking up, for doing this in Melbourne, and may her work spread far and wide. And for those who've heard me for a while, I hope that you like the content that I put on the table. If you've got any thoughts or feedback, please write to me at awaze-haqiqat@gmail.com, or you can also find me up on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Shraddha, before we wrap up, two things. Where can people find you on social media?
So you can always contact me on Shraddha Henna Designs.
Hmm.
I would just spell it for you.
Yeah.
SHRADDHA Shraddha Henna Henna Designs.
Hmm.
We all know how to spell it.
Yeah.
It's just that I haven't, I'm yet to make a page for my Vedic rituals, because I just wanted that to set off a little
So,
bit until I actually
yeah.
make a page. Or if you want to contact me, I'll give you my phone number. That is 0421554408. And I live in actually Sydney, not in Melbourne.
Sorry, correction. You are in Sydney. All right. I will post your links. You send it to me again, Shraddha, your number and the Henna Designs webpage if you
Yeah,
have, or if you, even if you're on Instagram, I'll post it in the comment section.
100%.
And what would be your message to our listeners, Shraddha, before we wrap up?
Sure. I'll just tell. Um, let's take out all the stigma and inequality and inferiority from our hearts and fill them up with love, affection, humility, and compassion. Only God knows the truth. Always remember this. Only God knows the truth.
Hmm.
And it is our karma which bears fruit from the seeds of our past life and present life. And no one can defeat the karma. Like a, a child will find its mother by the smell of the mother.
Yeah.
Like that, karma will find you after you die.
Okay.
Whether you do good karma or bad karma, it will find you, and you have to suffer good or bad depending on what you have done.
Hmm.
In Bhagavad Gita, also, God, Lord Krishna has told this very
Mention.
clearly and lucidly. We must use the free will given by God to rejuvenate, reignite, and refurbish our remaining life period so that we can be some use to other humans, because paropakar is the main thing, main meaning of yagya.
Hmm.
Okay.
Thank you, Shraddha.
Okay.
This was amazing. I think you have mentioned so many points. Next life, karma. I think we definitely need to have a second set of conversation, because these are the
Mm.
things the current generation tends to get entangled in. I often ask myself, what is my karma? Where am I going after this? So probably we can always catch up for a part 2 conversation after this.
Sure, Sure.
But thank you for joining me, Shraddha. Wish you the best of luck, and I hope that people will find you and you will get on to do amazing things in whatever you plan. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.